postseason is right around the corner in Western New York high school hockey, and we have a great public versus private school matchup tonight on the Nickel City Hockey Network. It's Starpoint hosting Canisius live from Hockey Outlet. Good evening, I'm Aaron Elpern alongside Sean McHugh. And Sean, as we get ready for puck drop, this is a non-division game, but there's still an awful lot to play for both teams.
That's right. Both teams have to be looking at this game as a tune-up for the postseason, as Starpoint is preparing to defend their Section 6 small school championship, coming in with a record of 13-5 on the season, and maybe finding their groove, to say the very least, while the Crusaders, meanwhile, they're in the very difficult Monsignor Martin division, and their playoff season is looming. They come in with a record of 3-7-3, but Aaron, do not let that record fool you. Their results with those losses tell you that they're anything but a pushover.
Yeah, and certainly recently they've been playing some good hockey. 2-1-2 in their last 5 games. And give you an idea about how good hockey they're playing, look at who the wins were over. Kenmore East and Lancaster, 2 very strong squads that are both contenders for this year's large and small school crowns, respectively. The 2 Canisius ties in their last 5 games, they were against Orchard Park and St. Joe's, so clearly this is not your average 3-win team, Sean.
No, it's definitely not your average 3-win teams, as they play games very tough and very close. However, they're also up against not your average 13-win team. And yes, when I give you these numbers, Aaron, it's going to make sense. Starpoint has won 6 straight games. That's impressive. It gets better. They're outscoring their teams 48-4. 4. Not 14, not 24, 4. And leading scorer Alec Kirk is riding a 9-game scoring streak and has 48 points in 17 games this year.
Yeah, this weekend he went over 100 points for his varsity career against West Seneca East on Saturday, 2 goals and 4 assists. On Sunday against Iroquois Alden, 2 goals and 2 assists.
Took that night off, 2 goals and 2 assists.
Yeah, not just getting a point a game here and making sure the streak continues, but he's piling up points right now, kind of reminiscent to the way he did last year during the postseason, as Kirk was the catalyst of the Starpoint run to the sectional title, as well as the run all the way to the state title game.
Yes, that's correct. And like you had said, Aaron, they seem to be finding their offensive stride at the perfect time heading into the postseason. But they're going to be facing a Canisius team this evening. They did have a tough loss to a very strong St. Francis team. And the coaching staff for Canisius has advised that they're going to drive their play from their back end. That's where their playmakers are. They're going to try to push play from the back end. They're going to try to play a close game and rely on some defense and some timely scoring. However, they're aware that they're going to have to do this against an opponent that, to say the very least, is incredibly difficult to do that against.
Yeah, the top line of Starpoint, we've talked about them a number of times on our broadcast so far this year. Alec Kirk, Justin Bull, and Will Mainstone continuing to just put up silly numbers this season. The 3 of them have 50 goals combined. That is just shy of half of the team's total goal output. But it's really not just one line. It's really a full group that puts the puck in the net here for Starpoint. Look at Frankie Cargarella. He has 14 goals this year.
And he could have 50.
Yeah, he's had a couple of games here where he had chance after chance and had a difficult time getting the puck in the net, but he still got 14 this year, part of a second wave of scoring for Starpoint that is certainly very capable. And this will be a test for Canisius, because Canisius is the type of team that likes to play those tight, low-scoring games. Starpoint likes to get out and run and put a lot of pucks in the net, so maybe a little bit of a nice matchup between those 2 tendencies here tonight.
Yes, you definitely have a matchup of strength versus strength right now. And again, records notwithstanding here, these are 2 teams these are very strong teams, very battle-tested teams here. And Starpoint's not about to take Canisius lightly with the history the program has in and of itself, knowing the division they play in, but Canisius knows they have a Titan to take down today. So we have 2 teams that aren't going to overlook each other. I think both teams may have even had this game circled on their calendar to some extent. You know, Starpoint has the known commodity in Canisius, and Canisius gets a shot at the champ, essentially. So we've got some storyline within the lines here, and it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out tonight.
Certainly happy to be bringing you this broadcast, as we have brought you all of the Starpoint broadcasts that we have this year. This will be the 7th game that we have done with Starpoint. Certainly it has been a pleasure to be working with not only the Starpoint staff, as well as all the families that have been involved with the team. Certainly been a pleasure to be involved with Starpoint hockey this year, and we certainly thank them for their hospitality and welcoming in us here with the broadcast here this year. Should be a great game to wrap up our regular season broadcast schedule of Starpoint hockey, and we're excited to get things started here. Starpoint and Canisius about ready to get things started. And this Nickel City Hockey Network broadcast is proudly supported by the architects at Lauer Manguso and Associates. Architecture, engineering, and design services from Lauer Manguso have earned the firm a reputation for quality and excellence spanning more than 4 decades. Also by Envious Gameware, designers of high-end custom hockey uniforms, bags, and apparel, and by 412 Communications, the new gold standard in digital media solutions. We're underway from Hockey Outlet, Canisius and Starpoint. Starpoint getting the first opportunity here in the offensive zone. 2 players down low trying to force the puck free. That's Alec Kirk and Will Mainstone. Puck comes out towards the slot. Justin Bull unable to get a stick on that one. Comes all the way to the point. Naden Case makes sure it stays in the zone.
Got away with a trip there, Aaron, I think.
Yeah, Canisius could have gotten called for a penalty there in the early going, but they do manage to get the puck out of their zone and down into Starpoint territory.
Look at the forecheck on this to start the game.
Aggressive start here from Canisius as they look to put some pressure on the Starpoint defenders. They force a turnover. Quick shot in on goal, and a point-blank save having to be made by the starting netminder, Rich Garou. A great opportunity there in the early going for a first period shot and chance there. That was Liam McCarty getting that opportunity in tight after the turnover. So we get the first scoring opportunity going the way of Canisius, and both teams putting some new personnel out there for this faceoff.
Yeah, Canisius is not. They're not going to back down from Starpoint. If anybody thought they were going to sit in a shell and try and contain, that's not about to happen. Canisius is sending their wingers hard below the goal line on that forecheck to start today.
Starpoint looking for a stretch pass there off winning that draw. It ends up just kind of floating through the neutral zone and trickling in towards the Canisius starting goaltender, Braden Grisbeck. He covers it up and holds on for a whistle. 16-12 now remaining here in first period play. This is Angelo Pepis on for the draw, squaring off against Jacob Cyrick. Cyrick winning it cleanly, and Russell tries to get a shot through the screen, but it gets blocked on its way through. Ends up getting a hold of it again and trying to feather a pass out towards the front of the net. Canisius defender getting in the way and sending out to the neutral zone. Muscarella, though, sending it right back in for Starpoint. Canisius working the breakout up the near side. They connect on a couple of passes in the neutral zone, and it's Pepis carrying it over the blue line. Losing control of it there as Muscarella comes up to meet him just a couple steps inside the blue line. Canisius countering and getting it back into the offensive zone. Loose puck here along the near boards as it's in the corner now. 3 different Starpoint players there creating a loose puck, and it comes around to the far side, but just a couple steps out of the reach of Dominic Lubert, and that allows Canisius to get control. Comes back towards the point, unable to keep it in is Tyler Stouffer. Now back out in the neutral zone. Canisius trying to regroup, but they lose control of it. Russell with an opportunity to get a shot in on goal. That one hit a defender's shin pad and ends up in the corner. Long clearing pass through the neutral zone, misses its intended target, no icing on the play. As Starpoint now trying to work the breakout up the far side. First pass is connected on, but the second one goes through the neutral zone and slowly into Canisius territory. That one's going to go for icing, and we get another stoppage in play. 15:06 now remaining in the first period.
Yeah, and Canisius, they're putting the pressure on. They're going to take it to Starpoint and make Starpoint go through them versus allow them to take the first swing. Canisius with the forecheck and the skating right now. Yeah, they brought their legs so far to start this game. It's interesting to see how Starpoint counters here.
Face off to the right of Rich Garou. Kind of a scrambled draw, and it comes out to the far board. Starpoint getting it cleared out to the neutral zone. Canisius, though, finding control of it. Tyler Stouffer sending it back in over the blue line. Ends up all the way on the netminder, Rich Garou. Sets it up for his defenseman, and they start the breakout right behind the net, but that first pass doesn't connect. Almost a chance in front of the net for Canisius. A second opportunity as the net comes off of its moorings. Rich Garou making the save despite the fact that there was really no net behind him to protect. That was Jack Vento getting the shot away from the mid-slot. Garou making the save and holding on for a whistle. Referees getting that net back onto its pegs as we have 14:46 now remaining in the first.
Another offensive zone face-off here for Canisius. Now it's time to see if they're going to start cycling and creating offense. They've been kind of pestering Starpoint and making their breakouts hard like this right here, but now Canisius is going to look to set up in the zone and create some offense.
Puck comes back to the point. The low-high game being played. A little bit of difficulty getting a shot away there, but they keep the puck in the zone. Stouffer now retreats out to the neutral zone to find possession. Alec Kirk, though, now has it as he carries it in across the Canisius blue line. Tries to make a move just inside the blue line, but Canisius ends up getting the clear. Might have numbers into the offensive zone here. They end up just kind of trying to dump it into the far corner. Comes back out to center ice, and they finally get that dump into that far corner. A couple of changes on the back end now for Canisius as Starpoint looks to set up their breakout. Not a whole lot of pressure here coming from the Crusaders. Pass into the neutral zone. Bull catching that one and sending it up to Kirk. Kirk has that one go just off of his stick, but Bull coming in support late. Sends it in across the blue line, but it's picked up there by Mathian. He sends it into the offensive zone, and now he's the one putting some forecheck pressure on. Aiden Case with a backhand pass behind the net. It comes up the near side. Bull tries to get it out. Canisius keeping it in. Manguso now getting that loose puck and making sure it gets out of the zone. Right back into his zone, though, and Manguso now sends it across to Case, and Case sends one up the far boards. Mainstone now dumping it into the offensive zone. Starpoint making wholesale changes, so plenty of time for Canisius to work this puck up ice. Long pass attempted there. Only stick that's able to get a touch on that one is Jacob Cyrix, so that ends up negating any icing on the play. Dominic Lubert finding it behind his own net. He spins away from one Canisius player, now looking for that breakout pass up ice. That pass is behind its intended target. Canisius keeping it in. Stepping in from his point position was Mathian to make sure it stays in the offensive zone. Russell now starting the breakout for Starpoint. Banks a pass off the boards. Now a foot race into the Canisius zone for that loose puck. Finding control of it there is LaForce, and he changes directions with that pass and sends it up the far boards. Shipped into the neutral zone where Dominic Lubert picks it up for Starpoint. Lubert avoiding two different men as he gets it across the blue line, but we do have a whistle being blown here, and it appears we're going to have an offsides call made at the blue line. Wasn't exactly sure what that call was because it was from the ref that was deep in the zone, but it is an offsides. We'll get a face-off right in front of the Canisius bench.
Yeah, now Starpoint's looking to settle down a little bit. Dominic Lubert doing a nice job kind of pushing the pace on his own, kind of slowing it down to try and offset this Canisius speed attack right now. Interesting to see how Canisius is going to respond to that.
Good first 4 minutes of this game, though, for Canisius. You could certainly like the way that they have started this one. Starpoint's the team that comes in here with scoring goals in bunches and riding a 6-game winning streak. Canisius, though, as we said in the pregame, has been playing some good hockey lately, and they've certainly started off this game in that fashion. It's one face-off, but that ends up hitting a body before it can get in on net. Now the puck is picked up behind the Starpoint cage, and the breakout starts up this near side. Austin Bush with a man on him. Had a little bit of difficulty getting that one up ice. Needs some support there from Allen. Eventually they get the puck out of the zone. Allen's going to have to make sure it gets up ice again as he takes a hit just inside the blue line.
And he closed his hand on the puck, too.
I think we had an offsides call made there beforehand, though. Oh, no, it's the faceoff's going to be deep in the zone. What was that call, Sean? I couldn't quite tell.
Allen.
Was it a hand pass?
It was. Like, Allen, when he went to brace for impact, kind of clutched the puck right there. I mean, I don't really blame him for it. I mean, he absorbed that hit pretty hard. So they're going to call it a hand pass for an offensive zone faceoff for the Crusaders.
Starpoint, though, wins control of that faceoff. Can't maintain control of it there in the near corner. Canisius now putting some pressure on. They make sure it stays deep in the zone. Maxwell Barney putting some pressure on there. Comes out the far side, kept in at the far point by Tommy Stouffer.
Numbers.
Can't get it deep, though, and this could be numbers for Starpoint. Good play there to shrug off that check by Bull. He takes the shot. He beats the goaltender glove side. It's 1-0 Starpoint. The physicality of number 7, Justin Bull, and then the finish at the end, it's 1-0 Spartans.
Yeah, strong like a bull right there. Tate just shrugs off the hit, almost like a running back, walks in, and here's the problem if you're Canisius. Justin Bull and Alec Kirk are coming in 2-on-1. You don't know what to do if you're the goaltender, and Bull looks off the shot and rips one to the glove hand right there of the goaltender. And after the pressure Canisius puts on, all it takes is for the door to crack just an inch, and Starpoint just kicks it in and takes a 1-0 lead.
And we talked about how dangerous this top line of Starpoint is. There's an example right there. The first 5 minutes of this game been pretty much a Canisius affair. They've been setting the pace, but all it takes is that one play, and Justin Bull makes it pay off, and it's 1-0 Starpoint. Canisius looking for that answer as they get the puck into the offensive zone. Chance in front. Maxwell Barney with a point-blank opportunity. Great save by Rich Garou.
And that's what you need if you're Starpoint, and that's what you want if you're Canisius. Canisius had the response, and Garou wasn't having any of it. And Garou has brought his game today for the Spartans. He didn't really get tested a whole lot in the shutout he had. Granted, when he was tested, he played well, but he's on his toes today.
Certainly, as the Starpoint team in general has been finding its stride here late in the regular season, their netminder Rich Garou has certainly been right in step with that. Starpoint now has it in the offensive zone, looking to put on some pressure, making a change here, and they maintain it in the offensive zone. Just ends up squeaking out into the neutral zone, Case unable to maintain the blue line there. But Frankie Cardarella has it in the neutral zone now, as Starpoint looks to regroup and start back up ice from along their own blue line. Good defensive play as stepping into that lane was Tyler Stouffer. He dumps it into the offensive zone. Canisius now looking to set up some pressure as Aiden Case picks it up behind his net. Loses control of it, though, so he's got a man right on him. Eli Noble causing that harassment. Puck comes back to the point. Mathian keeps it in with the first opportunity. Almost a 2-on-1 setting up there in the neutral zone. Russell and Cardarella just half a second from being able to go in 2-on-1 on that opportunity.
Yeah, Starpoint with that goal. They have some jump too now, so they're looking now. we might have a bit of a track meet coming here because both teams have been going back and forth. What a pass.
Cyric finds Cardarella on the far side, shot right in on goal. Save made there by Grisbick, and now we have a gathering of people at the net front. And let's see if this one's going to spill out of control. It started quickly, but it seems to at least be calming down at the moment.
Yeah, nothing, just some shoving and maybe some kind words asking what weekend plans are, and definitely nothing we couldn't say on air was said there either, Aaron.
Grisbick making the save there and getting that one covered up. And then the gathering there at the net front. Looks like we're going to have penalties on each side handed out here.
Okay, yep. Looking to control. Yep, looks like the refs are going to try and get control of this one early and getting two here for the altercation early.
Mathian and Russell in the penalty box. Mathian for Canisius number 2, number 15 Gavin Russell in the box for Starpoint. Faceoff is going to be coming out here into the neutral zone, as I'm guessing that they ruled the defenseman enjoying that engagement there at the side of the net.
Yep, and if you're Starpoint, you might take that trade because they have Mathian off the ice now for 2 minutes.
It's a good point there. If you can get rid of the other team's one of their top defenders, it may be a little bit of an advantage, certainly with some of the depth that Starpoint has up front.
Not a diss to number 15 either, Gavin Russell. Just when you can get a top defender off the ice, it's never a bad thing.
Step in offsides on that play, as it was Reed Mariner just unable to maintain the blue line there as his teammates brought it in on the near side along the boards here. So 9:45 now remaining in the first period. It's a 1-0 Starpoint lead. 5-on-5 play continuing now after those coincidental minors.
And Aaron, Allen is back in the lineup after a 3-game absence, and I bet Starpoint's real glad to have their stalwart on D back there too.
Yeah, he's just that extra little bit of settling things down on the back end, and that just a little bit of extra pressure off of everybody else in the lineup. That's what having that full D core allows this Starpoint team to do. Canisius finding control of it as they pick up a loose puck in their own zone. Carrying it up ice is Eric Joya. Gets it deep, and now he's trying to get to it first. Takes a bump there from Allen, and that creates a loose puck. Mariner now starting it up the far side. Nobody there to pick up that pass, though. Canisius finding control again. Shot coming in from distance there. That was Marinowski letting that one go. Fairly easy glove save for Rich Carew. Holds on for a whistle. Now 9:12 remaining in the first period. Both teams making a couple of changes, and we're going to have a face-off coming up to the right of Carew.
Yeah, and Canisius has tested Rich Carew early in this game. It was a while before he saw a shot. Last game he started, Canisius came out flying, and Carew, yep, he definitely brought his A game so far today. He's seeing everything, and he's not allowing any rebounds either.
Starpoint finding control of that puck. They go D to D behind the net. Now Lubert looking for that long pass into the neutral zone. Almost a 3-on-2 setting up here. Canisius doing a good job of coming back defensively there, but Starpoint still gets it into the offensive zone. Behind the net, it comes out to Bull. He takes a hit there, but he gets it back to the point to Lubert. He's got room to let that shot through. Takes that shot, and there was a rebound that was kind of floating up in the air. Looked like a couple of Starpoint players had the thought about trying to swat at it with the stick. Smartly not doing so, as that would have been a high stick violation.
Oh boy, lumber breaks.
We have a broken stick here for a Canisius player. They do find control of it behind the net, though, but they lose control of it there, and this could be an opportunity as Canisius having to make a change there with the one player with the broken stick. They do manage to get that change and back to the normal 5-on-5 setup here in their own zone, and they get the puck cleared out to center ice. Muscarella, though, sending it right back into the Canisius zone as we approach the 8-minute mark in period number 1. Starpoint making a change here as Mainstone is deep in the zone, the only forward out there. He gets control of it and gets it out to Cyric. Makes the move to the backhand, but Grisbick waits him out, makes the save to keep this one a 1-0 game. Cardarella, though, keeping it deep in the offensive zone. Losing control as he tries to make a pass out to the slot, but now he tracks back and takes the puck off the Canisius player's stick, and Starpoint again with an opportunity to set up in the offensive zone. Cardarella behind the net, tried for the wraparound after accepting that pass from Cyric. Just barely getting across there was Grisbick to make that stop. And as you mentioned, Sean, that goal that Starpoint scored earlier in this period really certainly injected some life into the full bench today.
Can you imagine what the Starpoint offense is going to look like once Frankie Cardarella gets the snake venom out of his arm that he's been bitten with?
It's, with the way the top line is scoring right now, if you get even a slight increase in scoring from the second and third lines,
beatable.
It's going to be a tough team to beat, no matter how difficult the small school sectional sets up. It's certainly looking like it's going to be a fun couple of weeks of postseason hockey, and this Starpoint team is certainly in the right position in terms of playing the type of hockey they want to be going into that.
Absolutely, and they're going to break out here after defensive zone faceoff with Cyrek and see. Oh, he's got him.
Sarek getting wide on the defenseman, throws a backhand pass out into the slot, just ends up between the two intended targets there. Russell and Cargarella could have been intended for either one of them. Canisius quickly back up ice, now setting up something here in the offensive zone. Comes out back to the boards, Mathian keeping it in, shot through traffic, nice save by Garou. There were two men in front of him.
See ya.
This could be an opportunity in transition as Gavin Russell picks it up. Looks like it just rolled on him before he let that shot go. It ends up resulting in a shot that went high and wide. But Starpoint again finding possession of it, that pass coming back toward the point. Canisius finding control there and carrying it up ice. Dumping it into the offensive zone is number 21, Aaron Eberhardt. Case trying to start the breakout for Starpoint in behind the net. Sends a pass up the far side, but it's intercepted. Now it's kept in by Canisius a second time. That shot just missing wide as Tommy Stouffer let that one go. Pass comes in front of the net. Picked up there, now moved up ice as Starpoint trying to counter quickly, but really good defense as Eberhard stepped into that lane. Quickly back into the offensive zone. Starpoint certainly not being given any passes here on their way up ice, as Canisius has done a good job of clogging the neutral zone, it seems, Sean, in terms of trying to make it as difficult as possible for Starpoint to make their progression into the offensive zone.
Yeah, Canisius' game plan is simple. He's on this forecheck, make life miserable for Starpoint getting out of their own end.
Looks like it's almost a 1-2-2 look, as I've frequently just seen the one forward deep in the offensive zone.
Very aggressive, though. Like, everything's below the face-off dot.
And then the next two guys waiting to pick up the trap there along the blue line. It's been fairly effective here already, as we're about a little bit more than 11 minutes into the action here. It's a 1-0 Starpoint lead, but this has been a very even game right from the start.
Absolutely. I mean, it's 1-0, but I mean, Canisius probably has had more of the chances, but the problem is the chance Canisius allowed, they probably picked the two worst players on the ice to allow it to. And your leaders finish, and that's what they did.
Certainly something that Starpoint has, we talked about them kind of playing the right brand of hockey at the right time of year. It's something that they might have struggled with early on in the season. The goal scoring just wasn't quite there in the first half of the season. There's a beautiful redirection there as Canisius gets the shot in from the point. Evan Healy getting the redirection, changes directions dramatically. It looked like it was going toward the far post, ends up changing directions and goes just inside the near post. It's now 1-1 on a really pretty goal.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Canisius needed. You're not getting the shots through Richie Garou, so you got to redirect him in front of him. And Garou almost got a leg on it too, but that was a beautiful set. That was a set play too. That was done by design. The point man does a slat pass, and Healy tips it right in the slot, and it changes direction dramatically. And Canisius looking to counter it and go 2 for 1 here.
Canisius gaining some life just like Starpoint did after they scored. Now they're setting up here in the offensive zone, putting some pressure on here in the near corners. Angelo Pepis creates a loose puck, and it comes around behind the net. Getting to it first is going to be Liam McCarty, but it comes out towards Mainstone. He tries to get it out of the zone. He gets some help, though, as it finally gets out into neutral ice. Alec Kirk now chasing it down. Kept in the offensive zone as Justin Bull comes in to help.
Oh,
beautiful pass, cross ice right on the tape. Great save as Mainstone had a lot of time and space to let that one go. Grisbeck with a great right arm save. Canisius now looking to counter and get up ice very quickly themselves. Jack Venta with that opportunity in tight. Pad save made by Rich Garou as the teams are now going back and forth and trading chances. Starpoint going just in offsides there at the Canisius blue line, so we get a moment to catch our breaths, but some great action here in the last 2 minutes, starting with the tip-in goal and then the two chances at both ends.
That pass by Justin Bull was dumb, like in the best way possible. I didn't even see the trailer coming. I have no idea how he did. And he found him, and he hit him right in the tape, and Grisbeck had to make a ridiculous save to keep it 1-1.
There might be two highlights right there in that exchange, after the pass being one of them and then the save being almost better than that setup was.
That was a great hockey play on both ends right by that shot and save there.
Get a puck pinned behind the Starpoint net up against the boards. Referee blowing the play. Actually, the post came off there as well as it was pinned against the backboard.
That tends to happen when we're calling games.
Yeah, it's just a question of how well those pegs are dug into the ice. I'm not sure that those ones are real secure here at Hockey Outlet tonight.
Probably safer when they dislodge, because, if you run into 100 pounds of steel and it doesn't move, it's going to hurt.
That's what you wear equipment for, Sean.
The equipment has, better than anybody, equipment has never saved me from anything.
Starpoint getting that possession right after the faceoff, and they get it up ice. Just the angle running out on Jacob Cyrick there as he ended up letting that one go from below the goal line, even though he had finally waited out the netminder. Grisbeck ended up leaving his crease, just not enough room to get that one in. They still keep it in the offensive zone as Cyrick battling against two different Canisius players. Puck comes out towards the wall. Cardarella keeping it in out towards the point. Backhand pass in behind the net. A couple of Canisius players there waiting for it, though. Turnover, though, forced in behind the net as Russell gets a loose puck. Now Cyrick joining the fray there as they try to get that puck out in front to Cardarella. Canisius finding possession, making sure it gets cleared out to center ice. Sent right back into the offensive zone as Aiden Case gets it right in on goal. Canisius executing a change, as is Starpoint. That allows Canisius to get it up ice quickly. This is Noble into the offensive zone. 5 different Starpoint players there waiting for him, and now they break out and move it up ice quickly with Austin Bush. Approaching the 3-minute mark of period number 1 as the puck is now in the neutral zone. Allen sending a pass across, finding Joe Manguso and dumping it into the offensive zone. Jim Manguso there on the far side as it hits him off the skate, and he plays it in behind the net. Comes out to the near post, or near point rather, and now moves through the neutral zone as Canisius finding possession there, but good back checking there by Bush as he creates a loose puck. And now we see whether or not his teammates can start the breakout from the near corner. McClellan fanning on a pass, but he gets control of it afterwards. Good hustle to make sure he stayed with that play. McClellan has it again on his stick just inside of his own blue line. Gets that one up ice to Mariner, who redirects it up towards the Canisius blue line. Canisius now trying to move it back in towards the offensive zone on the stick of Tommy Stouffer. Lets a shot go. He had a screen there, but Garou looking around that screen kind of ended up putting himself in the exact right position for that shot. Makes the glove and pad save, then holds on for a whistle. Now 2:21 remaining in a 1-1 first period.
And it's been every bit as entertaining as we've hoped for it to be. We're getting some goals, we're getting some saves, and we're getting some hits too. So we're getting close to that time, Aaron, where that goal at the end of the period could be a make or breaker.
Canisius wins this draw shot coming in from Mathian. He had that screen in front of the net, just barely missing that top corner wide.
Good D by Mathian there because Bulls was one step away from a breakaway there.
Justin Bull accepting that pass in the neutral zone, but Mathian reading it perfectly and cutting down that time and space. He's got to deal with Alec Kirk right now, though. Kirk gets it to Bull and then across to Mainstone. Another save there by Grisbeck, as it seems like every time this line has been out there, Sean, they've created a chance.
Yeah, that's how it's been for the last few weeks. But, today, they're out there and they're pushing play, and they're creating chances, and they're not done yet. Here they come again.
Drop pass to Bull, slap shot right in on goal, pad save made by Grisbeck, as you see the kind of comfort and familiarity this line has with each other. That setup looked like it was second nature as they had that play set up just into the offensive zone. Dominic Lubert stepping up from his point position to make sure it gets into the offensive zone. His fellow number 2, Max Mathian, picking it up there, starting the Canisius breakout up the near side. Pass comes into the neutral zone. Unable to glove that down was Lubert, and that allows McCarty to carry it in across the blue line. Really good defense there, as on that far side was Joe Manguso creating that loose puck with the physicality. Approaching the 1-minute mark of the first period as the puck comes back into the Canisius territory.
How was that not too many men?
Fortunate not to have a call being made there. Maybe one of those things where the 2-referee system might have a couple of things that slide by.
You can say that again. There's not even 3. There's 2 today.
Puck in the neutral zone. Good stick there from Cranky Cardarella to make sure that one didn't connect to the Canisius player in the neutral zone. Now it's in just across the blue line as Canisius keeps it in. Good play there by Tyler Stouffer to make sure it stays inside the blue line. Now he steps up from his position to keep that puck moving and dump it into the offensive zone. Now an opportunity almost setting up there in front, as it was almost a 2-on-1 that came together really late, but good defense. Joe Manguso getting into that passing lane.
Penalty.
Delayed penalty coming up here against Starpoint as Gavin Russell touches it up in the neutral zone.
Canisius would have been better to just kill the clock right there and start the second period with a fresh 2 minutes, I think.
Well, they'll still have a little bit more than 18 seconds of a power play to enjoy here before the end of period number 1, as the interference penalty is taken by number 15, Gavin Russell, his second trip to the box of this period. So the first chance on the power play goes in favor of Canisius, and they get at least 18 seconds and change to try to capitalize on it before the end of the frame.
Well, they needed to win the faceoff to do that, and Alec Kirk won it clean. Oh, and there's the hockey outlet roll, Aaron.
Yep,
we've all seen it.
Sits on that top ledge and just kind of slides out of the zone, making it that much more
your
difficult
penalty
to keep
kill.
in.
You'll never allow a power play goal if you learn how to play those boards right.
As long as you have possession of the puck, and Starpoint did an excellent job of maintaining possession there to kill off the 18 seconds of the penalty that they had to deal with during this first period of play. And it'll be a minute 42 if my math is correct. Okay, I read it off the scoreboard. Minute 42 remaining in that power play.
Your math was correct.
Well, I'm glad that you're able to confirm that for me, Sean.
You're welcome.
So it's Canisius power play will continue in the beginning of period number 2. But very entertaining first period of play there, Sean. Canisius came out with their hair on fire. It seemed like they had certainly the pace of play in the early going, but it was Starpoint that took advantage of that first scoring opportunity.
Yep. I mean, all the good teams, they're going to get hit in the mouth, especially when you're on top, and you're going to get Canisius' best shot. They absorbed a few jabs, bent, they didn't break, and then as soon as that door creaked open, that top line of Starpoint took a battering ram and blew it in. But to Canisius' credit, they didn't get discouraged. They didn't get knocked back on their heels. They kept at it, got the game tied, and they're going to start the second with a power play. So it's going to be interesting.
Justin Bull getting the goal for Starpoint, and it was Evan Healy getting the equalizer for Canisius, and that's how we have our 1-1 score after one period of play. And this Nickel City Hockey Network broadcast is proudly supported by the architects at Lauer Manguso & Associates. Architecture, engineering, and design services from Lauer Manguso have earned the firm a reputation for quality and excellence spanning more than 4 decades. Also supported by Envious Gameware, designers of high-end custom hockey uniforms, bags, and apparel. The thinking of look good, feel good, play good goes into every Envious jersey design, and you can find them online at enviousgameware.com to get your team a look to be envious of. Also by 412 Communications, the new gold standard in digital media solutions, offering consultation for web and graphic design, social media, writing and editing services, multimedia solutions, and much more. You can find them at 412communications.com to learn how they can help your brand build bridges with the people you serve. We're going to take a break here for the first intermission, but we'll be back in about 10 minutes with period number 2. You're watching live coverage of Section 6 high school hockey on the Nickel City Hockey Network. Welcome back to Hockey Outlet as we get set for second period play between Canisius and Starpoint. It is a 1-1 hockey game after 17 minutes of play. Thank you so much for joining us on the Nickel City Hockey Network as we continue to bring you live coverage of Section 6 high school hockey. And our matchup here tonight, Starpoint and Canisius, has been everything we expected it to be through 17 minutes of play. Thank you so much for joining us again. I'm Aaron Elprin alongside Sean McHugh, color commentator and videographer Jeff Jazarowski. And Sean, we get the end of the Canisius power play to start here in second period play.
Yep, and it's a big one here for both teams because Canisius would really like to get off to a fast start in the second period with this power play. And you know Starpoint wants to get this thing killed and get back to running their offense. So big minute and a half here for both teams.
Canisius started the first period very fast. They had certainly the start that they would have liked in the first 4 minutes and changed. Starpoint, however, getting the first goal. See who gets the first goal of period number 2 as Canisius gets it set up here in the offensive zone. Mathian walking the blue line, sending the cross-ice pass to his D partner. Stouffer's shot coming in on goal. Tommy Stouffer letting that wrist shot go. Rich Carew making the save, holding on for a whistle. Minute 6 now remaining on this Canisius power play as they get a couple new bodies out there for the rest of this power play.
Yeah, it looks like they wanted to make sure power play 1 gets the lion's share of the power play here. And Starpoint's going to keep the same guys out there. Yep, they have Kirk. They have Kirk and Bull, Lubert, and Mainstone. So they have 3 forwards out there for a penalty kill.
Canisius wins the face-off, and they get it set up at the point. Tyler Stouffer moving it down low. Now along the half wall is Jack Vento. Lets a shot go. There's a rebound in front of the net. Dominic Lubert getting the stick on it to make sure that got cleared to the corner. And then he ends up looking to get the puck out of the zone. It ends up in the rafters up above the Starpoint zone, so the faceoff will stay in the Spartans' territory to the left of Rich Carew. Still 41 seconds remaining on this Canisius power play.
And there's that low ceiling again, making the beer league special impossible on this rink. And again, yeah, that's an advantage the power play has, too. It's not as easy to clear the puck under pressure, so look for that to be something these teams are aware of when they're forechecking down in the corners.
Canisius taking advantage of that offensive zone draw. They win the faceoff, and now they have possession of it. Still 30 seconds to go on their power play as it comes back to the point. Tyler Stouffer sending it down low, finding Vento behind the net, and it comes back out to this near side as Canisius still has their power play set up, but they can't connect on that pass along the blue line, and Tyler Stouffer has to go back into the neutral zone to pick it up before they can go back into the offensive end. Aaron Eberhard carrying it in now as he's on his forehand, gets wide around the defenseman and circles the net before feeding a pass back to the point. Tommy Stouffer letting that shot go. There's a rebound in front, and it's tucked home. 2-1 Canisius as they get the power play goal with just 2 seconds remaining on the power play. Couldn't quite tell who got that last one. Looks like it's number 11, Evan Healy again, going to get the congratulations from the bench as he gets his second of the game, and it's now 2-1 Canisius.
That's huge if you're Canisius. Every goal is, but to get a 2-goal lead early in this period and to capitalize on that power play, that is exactly what had to happen if you were Canisius, and they got it. So now the ball's in their court for now, but they're going to have to be ready because there's no chance Starpoint doesn't come at them hard right here.
Canisius said looked like they were going to not be able to take advantage of that power play. They didn't really get things set up too well in the offensive zone, but they did manage to get enough of an opportunity to create that rebound chance. And Healy right on the doorstep puts it home, but now an opportunity in tight as Jacob Cyrick creates a turnover and then has a chance in close himself. Looked like Grisbeck just got enough of that one to keep that one from resulting in a tie game here, as certainly the second period has picked up right where period number 1 is left off. Good high pace and high intensity in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure if it was Grisbeck or a defender, but someone got the blade of their stick on that at the last second and prevented a high-quality scoring chance.
Another scoring chance there as Cyrick tries the quick change of direction and the wraparound on the far side, barely being stopped there by Grisbeck as he tried that wraparound. Canisius now moving it up ice. They could have some numbers here into the offensive zone. This is La Savita. Can't get the shot away, but he has some support coming in late as Maxwell Barney got the shot away. Starpoint, though, converging defensively, getting a stick in the way and getting that one deflected up and out of play. So the scoring chances coming at both ends fast and furious to start here in period number 2. Still a 2-1 game, though, in favor of Canisius.
Yeah, and back and forth we go, and this is what everybody here wanted to see. Two teams playing with pace here, and Canisius brought some offense today. That has been the struggle for them for a lot of this year, getting the goals, and they got 2 timely ones. So already, 1 check mark, and now they get to play the defensive game. But right now, they're trying to play some pressure on offense.
Canisius here with the puck in the offensive zone. 2-on-1 battle on the far side. Canisius getting the better of that one, but good work there by Reed Mariner to make sure his team got possession back. Breakout pass up the near side, just a little bit too far for Mike Merrifield. Ends up going the full length of the ice, and that one's going to be icing against Starpoint. So the face-off back into the Canisius offensive zone with 14:11 remaining here in second period play. Certainly a good start for the period number 2 from the Canisius perspective. Starpoint now looking to get a little bit of an answer, as it was Canisius getting the first goal of this period.
Yeah, and really Starpoint hasn't really been able to set up much other than the wraparound chance, and Canisius is, wow, they are putting relentless pressure on Starpoint right now.
Yeah, Canisius quick on loose pucks in the offensive zone, and now they have it set up below the goal line as a result. Good play by Merrifield to create a loose puck, but it comes back out to the point. Aaron Eberhard's shot had a lot on it, but missed the net wide. Back out into the neutral zone here as Canisius goes D to D just inside their own blue line. This is Tyler Stouffer starting the breakout. Cross-ice pass, and it comes off the near boards. That could create an opportunity, though, for Starpoint. Merrifield, though, unable to cleanly pick that puck up along the blue line, ends up resulting in an offsides. And he ends up getting dumped in the process for his efforts and have to skate to the bench, and we'll have a neutral zone face-off coming up just outside the Canisius blue line.
Yep, and Canisius doing a really good job of clogging passing lanes and getting sticks in the way. They're really doing a nice job. Honestly, the way I like to describe it, they're annoying Starpoint to death right now. They're in the way. They can't get rid of them, and that's exactly how you have to pester a team like Starpoint to try and throw them off their game.
Clean breakout there for Canisius, and they get into the offensive zone. Shot coming in, glove save made, as letting that one go is Luke Dagler. Poke check there is Rich Carew makes sure that puck doesn't come out towards the front of the net. Now Lubert battles against 2 different Crusaders in the corner for possession. Goes through Lubert's skates, and he ends up finding control of it, and he gets it across to Alec Kirk. Kirk quickly up ice. Now Mainstone's going to have to battle against 2 different Canisius players. Finds the right position to get a hold of that puck and send it into the offensive zone. Now Justin Bull putting some pressure on. Knocks Mathian down, creates a loose puck in front of that. Great save on the chance by Mainstone. Right there along the doorstep. It hit off the post as Bull let the second shot go. And then we have a penalty being called after the net gets knocked off of its moorings. I think this penalty is going to go against Starpoint, Sean.
The Starpoint box is open, so let's see.
Well, the referee was pointing at the Starpoint player, but it doesn't look like there's going to be any penalty called. It's just a stoppage in play as the net comes off, and the faceoff's going to stay in the offensive zone for Starpoint. Wasn't sure if there was something being called on that exchange after the net came off.
It's hard to tell. They don't have the orange stripes, so when they put their arms up, you can't tell if the penalty's being called or if it's just a dead puck.
Yeah, there's some pointing and gesturing. That's what got me confused, thinking it was a penalty coming up.
And the door opened.
And 5-on-5 play continues. I wasn't the only one confused. The Redcoats on the far side saw the same thing I did.
It's not our fault, Aaron. It's theirs.
Starpoint putting some pressure on here. Justin Bull throwing his weight around behind the net. Canisius finally gets it away from some of that pressure. Now moving it up the near side. Tommy Stouffer carrying it across the blue line. Starpoint coming back well defensively, though. And that was Muscarella getting in the way of that centering pass. Second centering pass ends up in the glove of Rich Carew, and we get another stoppage in play. Starpoint making some wholesale changes here as we have 12:22 remaining in the second period.
Yeah, and Canisius, the only way you could have scripted it better is if you got some more goals, but you're getting the chances in the offense right now, which is exactly what you have to do against this Canisius team, against the Starpoint team, excuse me. Starpoint looking to break it out right here. Here comes a 3-on-1.
Cardarella carries it in across the blue line. He's got 2 men with him. He takes the shot himself. I think the goaltender might have been looking past because that thing was wired into the top corner, and it looked like the netminder didn't even have a chance on that one. Cardarella with his 15th of the year. It's now a 2-2 hockey game.
There it is, Aaron. It was only a matter of time before he finally buried one, and holy cow, did he ever. Gains the blue line. You'd think he's an upperclassman. He's a sophomore. He looks off the defender twice and then coils one up and absolutely nips one right over the glove hand of the goaltender. And Starpoint, right again, Canisius has pressure and pressure and pressure. The door opens a little bit, and Starpoint cashes in.
Canisius finding control after the neutral zone faceoff. They get it into the offensive zone as we have a 2-2 hockey game with 12 minutes to go in the second period. Just as entertaining as we hoped it would be from the start. Certainly the type of game we want to see to finish off our broadcast of Starpoint hockey. Cardarella coming into the offensive zone, looking to continue this hot shift. Cycles it down low to Russell. Now back to the point to McClellan. Shot through traffic. It sneaks through the netminder. It's now 3-2 Starpoint as McClellan lets the seeing eye wrist shot go from the right point, and the Spartans take the lead.
Aaron, what did we say in pregame? If the second line can start putting in offense, Starpoint becomes almost impossible to beat. Well, there's 2 in a minute for the young forward, for the young line of Starpoint. And again, it's Frankie Cardarella leading the rush, turning out, and then starting the offense through him. And just like that, Starpoint gets the lead. And now Canisius, they're on their heels in a matter of seconds.
One shift is all it took to change the tide of this game, and quite the shift from the Starpoint second line as they get 2 goals. Cardarella gets the first one, and then the point shot coming in from Josh McClellan results in the second goal, and now Starpoint out in front as the puck gets dumped into the offensive zone now by Canisius, looking to get that response here after Starpoint has found some new life here in the second period. Good forecheck work being done down low by Eli Noble. He creates 2 different loose pucks, but it comes out to Case, and he looks to start the breakout by sending it around behind the net. Merrifield poking it along into the neutral zone. Eberhardt getting it there and looking to set up and allow Canisius to counter quickly. Shot coming in from just inside the blue line. Letting that one go was Casey LaForce. Fairly easy save there for Rich Garou, but the pace hasn't slowed down one bit, Sean. We have 11 minutes and change to go in the second period. I'm not sure we're even going to have a moment to catch our breath until we get to that second intermission.
Probably not, Aaron. And here's the thing. Once again, Canisius has not fallen back. You know, they took one in the chin just there, but they're putting the pressure on right off the bat again, getting the puck. Here we go.
Opportunity in front as a bouncing puck squirts in through the goaltender. Still a loose puck. It ends up hitting Garou in the back as that opportunity in tight. Healy looking for his third of the game. Loose puck in front of the net. Mainstone finally settles it down and gets that puck cleared. This is about the best icing you can imagine. Certainly, icing in high school doesn't hurt you as much because you can make the change.
That's
but
the play.
Even if you couldn't make a change there, that was the right play there. Get that pressure relieved a little bit, and that's exactly what Mainstone did, finding that loose puck and getting it out of the zone.
Yeah, and Coach Clayton is going back to his trusted guns right here. He's putting his big line out there, and he's putting Allen out there as well. So, yeah, Clayton's seen enough of that and wants to go back to old reliable.
Top line out there, but Canisius wins the face-off, and they get it deep in the offensive zone. Evan Healy making sure it gets deep and cycles it in behind the net, but it's going to be picked up there by Alec Kirk. Tries to get the long pass into the neutral zone. The stick of Tyler Stouffer, the only thing that kept Will Mainstone from getting a nice little run into the offensive zone with some speed. Canisius now into the offensive zone as they have the opportunity, and a hard wrist shot goes up over the left shoulder of the netminder, letting that one go. Luke Dagler. We now have a 3-3 hockey game, and nothing but pretty goals being scored this evening at Hockey Outlet, Sean.
Yeah, Canisius brought their offense today, and again, you pick on the southpaw. He went for the blocker right there, and he went right over the top. It was almost a carbon copy of Frankie Cardarella's goal right there. Just slow down, pick your spot, and hit it, and back and forth we go again, and we have a tie game again.
3-3, and we still have more than 10 minutes to play in second period action. This one might not slow down until the final horn tonight.
That's all right.
That's exactly what we would hope if this is the last game of our regular season broadcast. We would hope it for to be the best of them all, and this so far has been. Bouncing puck in the neutral zone. Cyric could get a break here. Can't quite get that one away from the defenseman. Really good play in there tight as Henry Richards had to make sure he got enough of that stick on that puck to keep Starpoint from having a break opportunity. Aiden Case laying the shoulder into his man. That creates a loose puck. And now an opportunity for Joe Manguso to start the breakout, but he's got 2 men on him. Jacob Cyric comes in to help out a little bit, but it is still pinned against the boards. Finally, Canisius getting that puck free. And now they look to create some more offensive zone time as it's Angelo Pepis against the near boards. Takes a little bit of a hit. Still a loose puck, though. It's going to be Cardarella finding it, flipping it into the neutral zone. Ends up bouncing right to Russell. Walks in and shoots and scores. Oh, my. Gavin Russell gets the fortunate bounce, but he takes advantage of it. Walking in, beating the netminder high glove. Now 4-3 in this wild back-and-forth affair.
And guess what line it is again, Aaron? It's the second line that's being relied upon to balance it out. So, yeah, when the top line has to face everything but the kitchen sink they get, you put the second line out there and 3 shifts, 3 goals. So I think you're going to see a little bit more of the Frankie Cardarella line.
Wow. I don't even know how to describe what we've seen in the last 5 minutes or so of this game. This has been pretty much about as well scripted as you could for our last broadcast of the regular season. Both of these teams coming with a lot of energy and making some great plays out there on the ice. Canisius now looking to get that next great play is setting up in the far corners. Eli Noble back to the point. Mathian makes a move to get around one man and sends it back down low. Picked up there and now fed back to the point. Mathian makes sure it stays in. Takes the shot. It gets redirected. Doesn't end up getting to the net. Braden Allen now settling it down, looking to help the Starpoint breakout start. Into the offensive zone. Bush sends it across to Merrifield. Merrifield takes a little bit of a bump, but he's got some help coming. Mariner picking it up here along the half wall. He tries to cycle it back to Merrifield. Canisius getting in the way of that one, but they can't get it out. As now it's a chance in front of the net. Austin Bush in tight. Great save by Grisvick. There was a rebound opportunity there briefly. Canisius defenders getting that puck out of danger quickly. Crusaders into the offensive zone. They dump it in. Picked up there by Braden Allen. Allen up to Merrifield, but Starpoint can't get it out of the zone. Mathian making a good play just inside the blue line. Braden Allen now looking for that long breakaway pass. He had Austin Bush at the far line. Good defense, though, as Tommy Stouffer got in the way of that one. Stouffer now looking to create some offense himself. Gets it around the defender and takes the shot in tight. Giroux making a good save there with the left arm. Ooh. Secondary opportunity. That shot doesn't get through, but Canisius keeps it in. Player falling down in front of the net, and that allows McClellan to pick it up in the far corner, but he can't find anyone there against the far boards. Canisius keeping it in. Down low, this is Kalidas, tries to get that pass out in front. He had a man there. Dembski unable to get away from the Starpoint defender to get a shot away. Starpoint ends up getting the zone cleared as now Canisius has to tag up. The one player not realizing that was the case, that was Ryan Lawley. So we get the whistle blown and the offsides call made. 7:37 now remaining in the second period. As this the pace doesn't slow one bit, it seems, Sean, as we might not have had a goal in the last couple of minutes, but the energy and the activity has certainly been at that same level.
Yeah, the energy and activity has been exceptional. We're going back and forth. It's like a track meet out here, and we're getting the shots, and we're getting the hits now, too. I mean, anybody who came to this game and paid the admission is getting 10 times more value than what they paid right now. This has been a great game halfway through the second period.
4-3 is our score in favor of Starpoint. Pretty sure that's not going to be the score at the end of this period. The goals have been coming fast and furious. We're not even 10 minutes into this period. And let's see, we've already got 5 goals this period.
Yeah, I'm here for all of that, too.
More offense, that's exactly what we like to see.
More offense, don't punt.
I might play defense myself, but I'd prefer to call an offensive game.
I don't play defense, so I like offense.
Puck goes into the low ceiling along the netting just above the neutral zone here. So we have the low roof coming into play yet again. 7:14 remains here in second period play. Faceoff's going to come right at the center red line dot. And it's going to be Starpoint getting possession off of the faceoff. They get it into the offensive zone. Almost a bouncing puck ends up on the stick of Will Mainstone, but he has it in behind the net. Now looking for that pass out in front. Kirk and Bull both setting up there looking for that pass. Good work by the Canisius defenders to make sure they didn't have a whole lot of room to take a pass from in behind the net. Still have some pressure down in that far corner as Alec Kirk gets it back to the point. Sent right back down low by Case. Now a bit of a foot race for it here in this near corner. The first one to it, number 14, Henry Richards, starting to break out, but they can't get it past Dominic Lubert at the point.
Here we go.
Secondary breakout works, and this could be a 3-on-1 into the offensive zone. Dagler walks in, cross-ice pass.
Save!
Huge save by Rich Giroux as he sprawls across his crease to get a piece of that shot. It looked like there was nothing but net to fire that one into.
There wasn't until the glove showed up there. What a save. And that was a huge save. Uh-oh.
Now we're going to have a penalty coming up on the far end. Alec Kirk knocking his man down against the boards. This is one of those plays that interesting to see. The penalty was not a surprise to see called. How seriously and how severely are they going to penalize him for this hit, though? Because that's one of those dangerous check from behind hits that we know that we see an emphasis on.
If it looks bad, it's bad, as far as USA Hockey's concerned.
All right, it's a cross-checking call, so I think that's just going to be 2 minutes.
Yeah, and if you're Coach Clayton, you just don't want to see players go down with your top guy standing over them. He's had enough. He's been dealing with that all year. Not with some I'm not here to dump on refs, but I think Clayton did not need to see his best player.
He's already seen that once in this building already this year against Williamsville East. A very similar looking play. Same end of the ice, just the opposite corner. Alec Kirk hitting a man up against the boards. In that case, he was given the 5 and a game misconduct. Resulted in a 1-game suspension. And they lost that game. So certainly fortunate for the Starpoint perspective that this one wasn't more severely penalized, but they do still have to kill off this penalty as Canisius getting it set up here in the offensive zone. Shot taken there from just inside the top of the circle. Eli Noble unable to hit the net with that one, however. Tommy Stouffer at the blue line tried to feed it between his own legs. It ends up coming back across the blue line, so it just slows down the Canisius power play a little bit. Pass is fanned on just inside the blue line. That's going to allow Starpoint to get the clear. Cyric almost with an opportunity shorthanded as well. Tommy Stouffer, though, settling it down. Tyler Stouffer getting it to Tommy Stouffer, and they move it up the left side. Dumped into the offensive zone. Bit of a foot race for it as the two number 18s battle for possession. Ends up coming up the near boards as Cyric trying to get it out of the zone. Does manage to get it past the stick of Eli Noble. Noble got a little bit of that, but just not enough to keep it inside the zone. Just under a minute remaining on the Canisius power play as they get it back in across the blue line. Dominic Lubert, though, is the first one to it. He sends that one the length of the ice, getting in the bank off the near boards and in on the netminder Grisbeck. Some of the Starpoint fans giving it to the Canisius netminder as he makes a routine save there on that dump in.
I like it. I'm here for it.
37 seconds remaining on the power play as Canisius having just a little bit of difficulty getting the breakout executed right now. Mainstone and Bull putting some pressure on, but eventually Jack Vento carries it up ice. Gets it into the offensive zone, now on his offhand. Circles and tries to feed a pass back to the point. Kind of a bouncing puck there. Good play, making sure that one stayed in the offensive zone by Liam McCarty. Good clearing play, though, as it's Braden Allen finding a loose puck along his own goal line, sending that one the length of the ice. Now just 10 seconds remaining on the Starpoint penalty. Canisius working the breakout up the near side. Mathian trying to get it in across the blue line, but he had some pressure from Bull on him. That ends up creating a loose puck, and now the penalty to Starpoint is over as they look to get it into the offensive zone and create some chances themselves. Mainstone unable to get that one away from Eberhard, as Eberhard has it in the corner again, starting the breakout up the near side. Two Starpoint players on him, but he gets it up ice, and now into the offensive zone. This is Evan Healy. Healy drops a pass off. He had a man trailing there, Jack Vento, but Vento has to carry it into the corner. And now in behind the net, pass comes back to the point. Eberhard walking in from that point position, lets that shot through. Really nice save there as Rich Carew type of shot that it was difficult to make sure there was no rebound on because he was in that awkward spot up around just the inside of your rotator cuff. He still managed to pin it to his chest and keep that rebound opportunity from being there. 3:49 now remaining in the second period. A 4-3 Starpoint lead continuing.
Yep, and Canisius is definitely not, goes without saying, they are going to press as hard as they can to get this thing tied because you just don't want to go into the third period against a team like Starpoint or anybody trailing. But Canisius has had a good period, so they definitely want to, at worst, go into the intermission tied, especially because they had the lead at one point in this period.
Certainly been a back-and-forth game throughout. Starpoint got the game's first goal. Canisius came back and tied it up, then took the lead here in the second period. They've traded the lead since then. It's now a 4-3 Starpoint advantage as Canisius moving the puck up ice quickly. Three men back, though, nicely for Starpoint. Gavin Russell, the center, making that play defensively just inside his own blue line. Frankie Cardarella has control of it here, but a little bit of a dangerous pass, though. Almost didn't get it across to Aiden Case. Case doing the smart thing there and just sending it the length of the ice. That one's going to be icing against Starpoint, but there was a brief moment there where it looked like there could be more danger at foot there for Starpoint. The icing obviously not the worst result of that play. Faceoff will come to the left of Guru with 3:09 to go in the second period.
Yeah, Canisius, again, they're getting the offensive zone faceoffs right now. The door's open. And here's the thing. They're one of the few teams that's having success in the dot. Again, I spoke too soon, but they've done really well in the dot as well, which is why they've been able to have some possession. You would have liked to see it there, but now Lubert is going to look to carry it out, and he's going to get out pretty much uncontested. Oh.
Dominic Lubert with the one-man breakout. Could have carried it through the neutral zone. Ends up losing control of it there. Alec Kirk picking it up, but he can't get much further in the center ice red line. And now Healy back into the offensive zone for Canisius. Drops that pass off. Now back to the point to Mathene. And breakout now as McClellan has it in his skates. A little bit of difficulty getting control of that puck. Luke Dagler right on him, creating that difficulty. Starpoint, though, does finally get it to center ice as now Mainstone battles for a loose puck up just below our broadcast position. Still tied up with the Canisius player along the Canisius blue line as it ends up deep in Starpoint territory now. McClellan starting the breakout up the far side. Bull can't get it out. This could result in a chance. Mathian's shot just barely missing wide. Puck along the back of the net now as it is covered by Rich Carew through the net. That ends up resulting in a little bit of a poke from the Canisius player, and now a conversation with Dominic Lubert there.
He wasn't ready for Lubert to be as strong as he was there because Lubert kind of threw him back a little bit, and I don't think he was ready for that.
The two number twos there having a little bit of a conversation. And sliding in to make sure that didn't continue any further was Casey LaForce. So both teams going to make a couple of changes here. 2:13 now remaining in second period play. as Canisius looks to play that one forward there off the draw. Vento almost making a really nice play there off that faceoff. Couldn't quite get to it after he moved it forward on the opposite centerman. Vento now has it along his own blue line, just fans on that pass, and now gets it to Russell. Russell could have a chance. He takes
penalty.
a little bit of a slash. There's going to be a penalty coming up against Canisius. Starpoint's going to get the chance on the power play. They have the 4-3 lead, and now they get the late period chance opportunity to expand that lead. It was Canisius with the power play late in the first period. It ended up resulting in a second period goal. Let's see what Starpoint can do with this man advantage.
This is big here, too, because they pretty much are going to have it for the rest of the period unless they score. This is a huge kill for Canisius, and they had a huge power play to start the period. Canisius cannot go down by 2 right here.
Starpoint, though, winning control of the faceoff. Dominic Lubert setting it up top right now. Bull walks in and takes a shot from the far side. Ends up going wide, and that ends up resulting in a clear back out into the neutral zone. Lubert having to go back there for it. Starpoint having some pressure on them in the neutral zone as Canisius wanting to make sure it wasn't easy to re-enter the zone. They do finally manage to get it into the offensive zone. Now getting it set up is Dominic Lubert here at the midpoint. Over to the far side. Bull walks in and lets a shot go. Saved by Grisbick. Loose puck in the slot. Cardarella ends up with it now along the left point.
Justin Bull has, that stings. Oof. Oh.
Well, some unfortunate events there in quick succession. The shot attempt ends up hitting the player in the back of the leg where it's not protected by any sort of padding.
No, it's
and then
not.
The clearing attempt goes into the roof, so we get first 40 seconds essentially of the power play done, but we still have plenty more 5-on-4 coming up.
Yep, and again, like you say, you are at a disadvantage killing penalties in this rink because height is not something you have at your disposal when trying to clear the puck.
Starpoint wins another faceoff, allowing them to get that power play formation set up. Justin Bull there on the far side. Back up to Lubert at the midpoint. Shot gets through traffic but misses wide. Mainstone has it behind the net as they look to get that power play back set up again. Mainstone and Bull playing catch with it as they try to get it out front. Cardarella there in front of the netminder. Couldn't quite get the pass to it. Mainstone tries to walk out in front himself. Unable to get past the Canisius defender, and now the Crusaders get that puck up ice. Could be a 2-on-1, shorthanded setting up. Healy walks in, takes the shot, really good play. Dominic Lubert leaving his feet to get the block on that one. Gets enough on it to send the puck up and over the net and into the, actually up over the glass behind the net. So both teams going to make a change here as we have a little bit more than 42 seconds remaining in the period. 48 seconds remain on the Starpoint power play.
Big play here for Canisius, too, because you got an offensive zone faceoff. So do they have a bit of a play or something up their sleeve to try and maybe create a scoring chance here?
Faceoff ends up kind of a scramble there. Starpoint getting possession of it. Now they have 35 seconds left in the period to carry it up ice and try to create another opportunity or two. Cyric slowly getting it into the offensive zone here as he's just inside the blue line. He's got a man right on him, but he gets it along to Bush. Bush had a man on top of him, though, unable to stick handle away from him, and now Canisius gets the clear. Canisius putting some pressure on here as we have 15 seconds to go in the period. Puck comes up to Austin Bush as he circles the net. 10 seconds to go in the period. Long pass into the neutral zone. Russell taking a bump there in the neutral zone, and Canisius ends up getting a loose puck out of it, and they send it back into Starpoint territory to kill off the remaining few seconds of the period. There will still be 5 seconds remaining on the Starpoint power play when we get started in third period play. But let's take a moment to catch our breaths here, Sean. That was a wild second period of play. We saw 5 goals scored and certainly no shortage of scoring chances. It's a 4-3 lead in favor of Starpoint after 2 periods of play. Certainly getting our money's worth here today, Sean.
Yes, we certainly are. We get 7 goals in 2/3 of a game, and we have saves and defense, and the goals are pretty. So, yes, an intense third period to end our season is exactly what we would have wanted going into this, and that's exactly what we're looking like we're going to get going into the final period of our season.
And we talked about both teams wanting to set a good tone with this non-division game, get themselves ready for postseason action. I think you could say through 2 periods of play, both teams have found their stride and are playing the type of hockey that they would want to play going into the postseason.
Definitely. I mean, Canisius, you really can't say they've done anything wrong. I mean, the goals are set up beautifully and on great opportunities, and they're getting the saves they need from their goaltender, and they're getting the timely goals. So, I mean, no coach is going to tell you they want to go into a third period down by 1, but if you were to tell Canisius you'd be going toe-to-toe with Starpoint, and the difference between being tied and being down by 1 is just one missed pass or, one guy gets behind the defense. I mean, I don't know if you'll take that, but you can be doing a lot worse right now.
And one of the things that has been an issue for Canisius this year is putting the puck in the net. They've got 3 goals in 2 periods. They seem to be finding their stride in that regard. So certainly some positives being taken from this game, no matter how the third period goes from both sides. It's been certainly an entertaining affair from our perspective, and we're looking forward to seeing what third period play has in store. This Nickel City Hockey Network broadcast is proudly supported by the architects at Lauer Manguso and Associates. Architecture, engineering, and design services from Lauer Manguso have earned the firm a reputation for quality and excellence spanning more than 4 decades. Also by Envious Gameware, designers of high-end custom hockey uniforms, bags, and apparel. The thinking look good, feel good, play good goes into every Envious jersey design. You can find them online, enviousgameware.com, to get your team a look to be envious of. Also, support coming from 412 Communications, the new gold standard in digital media solutions, offering consultation for web and graphic design, social media, writing and editing services, multimedia solutions, and more. Find them online, 412communications.com, to learn how they can help your brand build bridges with the people you serve. Well, we have 17 more minutes of action coming up here from Hockey Outlet in our regular season broadcast schedule. Should be a heck of a third period in store. It's a 4-3 Starpoint lead after 2 periods of play. Certainly stay tuned for third period play as we continue to bring you live coverage of Section 6 high school hockey on the Nickel City Hockey Network. And welcome back to Hockey Outlet as we get set for third period action between Starpoint and Canisius. A very entertaining affair so far here from Hockey Outlet. It is a 4-3 lead in favor of Starpoint, but it has been a back and forth affair since the very start of it. Both teams holding leads, trading leads throughout. It's a 4-3 game as we get set for third period play. And this Nickel City Hockey Network broadcast is proudly supported by the architects at Lauer Manguso and Associates. Architecture, engineering, and design services from Lauer Manguso have earned the firm a reputation for quality and excellence spanning more than 4 decades. Also by Envious Gameware, designers of high-end custom hockey uniforms, bags, and apparel. The thinking of look good, feel good, play good goes into every Envious jersey design. You can find them online, enviousgameware.com, to get your team a look to be envious of. Also by 412 Communications, the new gold standard in digital media solutions. Online, 412communications.com is where you can go to help them, so you can have them help you build bridges with the people you serve. Underway here in third period play as we have an icing at the outset of the period. Thank you so much for joining our Nickel City Hockey Network broadcast. My name is Aaron Elpern, alongside color commentator Sean McHugh, camera operator Jeff Jazarowski. And Sean, this has been a quick moving affair, a lot of intensity, a lot of scoring chances both ends of the ice. A lot of great goals scored so far, too. First 2 periods have been everything we could certainly hope for. Third period, hopefully, will bring more of the same.
Absolutely, and it's a huge period for both teams heading into the postseason. Starpoint looking to finish the season with a 7-game winning streak. Canisius looking for something of a signature win to finish off a strong end to their season going into the playoffs. So, although this isn't a league game, both teams have something to play for, and also this is going to be really, really good just to get them tuned up mentally for the postseason. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, obviously it's going to be a tall task to repeat as Section 6 small school champions for Starpoint. They've got a bunch of talented competing teams that will certainly try to knock them off. Canisius also, they have a tall test in front of them with the Monsignor Martin playoffs coming up. So a great tune-up matchup here in this non-division game. And both teams have certainly brought the energy and high-intensity level so far. That shot coming in from the point, Tommy Stouffer letting that one go. Glove save made by Rich Guru, as we're 40 seconds now into period number 3.
Yep, and look for Canisius. I mean, they've been pedal to the metal all game. I think it's time they're going to try to put the pedal through the floor now to try and finish strong here, because they got to get this thing tied and they got to keep the Starpoint offense off the score sheet. Tall task, but I think it's one this challenge this Canisius team is going to welcome heading into the postseason.
Starpoint's top line out there right now. This is certainly a big part of that task in slowing down the Starpoint offense. Just trying to work the breakout up the near side was Dominic Lubert. Ends up getting some help from Justin Bull. He banks it off the glass and gets it through the neutral zone. Max Mathian back to his own blue line, trying to set it up for Canisius. He's got 2 men on him, though. Mathian does manage to get a little bit of separation from the forecheckers, but he only gets it as far as the blue line. McClellan keeping it in, getting it along to Justin Bull. Backhand pass as he gets it along to Mainstone, but Mainstone had a man right on top of him. Eli Noble making sure there was no room to let a shot go.
Justin Bull is an absurdly good passer.
Along with the shooting and physicality that he also brings, it's a
good hockey player, I think, is the term we're looking for there, Aaron.
I don't know if you can make the comparison to baseball, but is he the hockey version of a 5-tool player?
Yeah, I'll give him Shohei Ohtani, definitely.
Okay, perfect.
He almost wears his number, too.
It's true.
Yeah, he does everything. He plays in his own end. He blocks shots.
Ohtani would be a 6-tool athlete, though, wouldn't he?
Ohtani's like 14 tools, if we're being completely honest. Like I feel like if that dude played football, he could start on a team at quarterback, and
he would play both sides of the ball, obviously.
He'd play safety too.
Yeah.
He'd be like Bo Jackson, but instead of playing baseball, he'd play offensive, defensive football.
Starpoint finding control of a puck there in the circle, shot in on goal, save being made by Grisbick. Another faceoff coming up from the dot to his right. 15:24 now remaining here in the third period. Both teams looking to get that first little push of opportunity here in this third period. Canisius getting a clean breakout, getting it all the way up ice, and now dumped into the offensive zone by Liam McCarty. Goes around behind the net where Angelo Pepis is waiting for it. Jacob Cyrick, though, takes him off of that one. Now Starpoint moving it through the neutral zone. Pass is banked off the boards. Cargarella putting some pressure on the Canisius defenseman there. Also, Gavin Russell coming in to throw a little bit of a hit on his man, but Canisius still manages to get that puck up ice. Pepis getting it along to the blue line. In over the blue line by McCarty, but it's going to be Cardarella taking the puck away from him. And now Starpoint settles it down, looks to move it up ice. That pass, though, Canisius' stick getting in the way of it. That could have been a dangerous moment just inside the Starpoint blue line. They do manage to get the puck up ice finally, and Gavin Russell dumps it in. Starpoint now making wholesale changes as Canisius has an opportunity to skate that puck up ice throughout their own zone. Tommy Stouffer through the neutral zone. He's got a couple of men in front of him, so he fires a shot after gaining the blue line. Pad saved by Garou. Now Braden Allen looks to carry the puck up ice for Starpoint. Gets it to Bush, and Bush quickly touches it up ice towards the far blue line. Pass was behind the two line mates of his there in the neutral zone, and now Canisius finding control of it. Austin Bush, though, gets in the way of that pass and keeps it inside the offensive zone. Good play to get him off of that one, and now carrying it up the near side is going to be Petros Kalidis. Gets knocked down just inside the Starpoint blue line. It comes back out into the neutral zone, sent back in across the blue line by number 14, Henry Richards. Comes back to the point, kept in by Mathian. He's had a strong game from his point position today, one of the driving forces behind this Canisius team, as their defenders have been as advertised here in this game. They certainly rely on them to get the puck in control and to move it up ice, and they've done very good work at that, both in terms of defending their own end, but also creating opportunities themselves.
Canisius definitely, again, pedal to the metal, just trying to hem Starpoint in and trying to create turnovers, anything they can do to get some offense, and they're doing a good job starting below the goal line here.
Lawley generates a turnover, and he's got two men on him as he looks to set up shop in the far corner. Gets some help there from Evan Healy, who had the first two Canisius goals here tonight. Loose puck, though, as Kirk takes it away from his man. Could be an opportunity for Starpoint in the neutral zone. Kirk just unable to settle that one down. Good defensive play by Henry Richards to make sure that one didn't end up in a loose puck that was on a Starpoint stick in the neutral zone where they had numbers. Starpoint gets it out of their own zone. That could have been some numbers there for Canisius if they created a loose puck. Quickly into the offensive end. One-timer as the pass comes across. Kirk to Mainstone into the back of the net. 5-3 Starpoint. And just like they have earlier on in this game, it is the quick strike offense that Starpoint uses to get on the board.
Yep, and that's exactly what you needed if you're Starpoint. They got one early. They get their two-goal lead. Now takes a little bit of pressure off. They got to play responsibly, but now they have some breathing room, and now they can push to pressure it here. And you rely on your big guns in big moments, and that's exactly what Starpoint did right there. And Mainstone gives Canisius the 5-3 lead. Now Canisius has to work because now it's going to be an even taller task than it already was to get back into this game.
12:40 remaining in third period play. That separation goal that Starpoint was looking for, they get that first one here in third period play. A 2-goal lead, now a little bit of a cushion, but Canisius, just like they have every time Starpoint has scored, looking to come into the offensive zone to get that answer. Pass just a little bit off the mark. Now it could be a 2-on-1 in the other direction. Russell in over the blue line, shoots it himself, goes off the goaltender's arm, off the crossbar, and then it's batted into the net by Cardarella. They're calling it a high stick, waved off immediately, so no goal on that play as it remains a 5-3 game. Cardarella called for the high stick, so that goal is going to be waved off. Face-off going to come back out into the neutral zone.
That was close, Aaron.
My instinct was that, yes, it was a high stick. The referee had the closer view of it.
You can't
Our camera's not going to give you a very good review anyway.
I can't. From where I was, I can't possibly argue against the call. I understand. Yeah, it was high, unfortunately. I mean, you definitely couldn't call that a goal on the ice right now, especially without the benefit of a review.
Yeah. The referee made the call immediately, so not going to sit here and argue with him because he was certainly definitive with what he saw on that play.
And now the faceoff's going into the Starpoint end, too.
Yeah, played with a high stick, so yeah, the faceoff's going to come all the way back down into Spartan territory.
I don't know if I love that because usually you have to touch it. But because it went in, I mean, it's, again, hard to argue, but I would have thought that would have been a neutral zone faceoff or maybe a center ice faceoff. Well, if Starpoint wins the faceoff, it's a moot point, and they did. Well,
it's one of those situations where there's so many different rule books at play right now. The referees have to make sure they know which one's the right call being made. It took a little bit of a conversation there to make sure they had that one correct. Starpoint almost getting a break opportunity there. Cyric trying to feed Cardarella through the neutral zone. Good defense as the Canisius player made sure he got a stick on that one. That would have been a breakaway from a long ways away, too. Puck in the neutral zone now as Tommy Stouffer dumps it in across the blue line, but Aiden Case has plenty of room there to set up a breakout. Gets it across to Joe Manguso and then quickly across ice to Russell, and they get it in across the blue line, but it's going to be a Canisius player, the first one to it there. Cardarella quickly on top of Richards, though, and it creates a loose puck. Good, though, defensive support, though, as Vento made sure he picked up his teammate and found control of that puck, not allowing Starpoint to get an opportunity in the offensive zone. Canisius gets the shot in on goal. Routine save for Garou there. 5-3 game is still our score. 11:26 now remaining in third period play.
Yeah, but Canisius, they are doing it right here. They're getting the puck down on the goaltender and playing offense in the Starpoint zone. But they need to sustain zone time, and they got to start shooting because you don't really have time to play with the puck now. You got to get it to the net.
Battle for a loose puck, and it comes back out to the point. Tyler Stouffer shot in on goal. There was a rebound there briefly after Garou made the first save. Canisius player unable to get that second chance opportunity. Liam McCarty there in close proximity looking for that rebound chance. In the other direction, this is Reed Mariner for Starpoint. Gets it in across the blue line, but Mathian picks it up there for Canisius. Could be some numbers here through the neutral zone for the Crusaders. They gain the blue line. 2 cross-ice passes, maybe just a little bit out of the reach there on that second one. Good look, though, in front of the net as trying to find Lasavita there in front of the net. Almost a good scoring opportunity there. Puck now in that far corner. Liam McCarty finding control of it. Back to the point. Mathian has it there. Tries to feed it in towards the slot. Starpoint, though, finding control of it. Now a little bit of difficulty getting it out. Braden Allen, though, will finally settle it down and get the bank off the near glass. Canisius finds it along their own blue line. Mathian moving it up ice to Pepis. His shot right in on goal. Glove save made by Garou. He covers up to make sure there's no rebound opportunity. Faceoff will be coming up to his blocker side with 10:24 remaining here in third period play, as Canisius certainly is looking for that answer after giving up the only goal here so far in the third.
Yeah, they're not going to quit, and we knew that going into this game, that this is not a team that's ever going to lay off the gas right now. But again, they're not backing down at all. They're not hanging their heads, and they're not moping around. They're just as, working pedal to the metal, trying to get this next goal and get this thing closer here. But Starpoint's doing a really nice job of keeping everything to the outside and making sure Rich Garou sees every single puck right now.
Starpoint again winning a defensive zone faceoff. That's been key for the last kind of half of this game. Able to set up some possession, but they can't keep possession of it and get the breakout going. Dominic Lubert's going to have to try here on the near side. Gets it up to Bull, who takes it off of a Canisius player's stick, and now it's going to be Will Mainstone into the offensive zone. Pass might have had a little bit too much on it for Kirk, but he follows it down into that far corner. Getting some help there from Bull as they try to create a loose puck in the forecheck. Kirk does create that loose puck and now has it coming out of this near corner. Has a man pestering him there. Look, some of the crowd may be looking for a penalty call there as the puck ends up being deflected here in the neutral zone and going up into the netting that protects the roof. So the low ceiling again coming into play here at Hockey Outlet. And we get a stoppage with 9:44 remaining here in regulation. 5-3 is the Starpoint lead.
Yeah, now we're in a neutral zone face-off here, and Starpoint's going to send the big line out there again. A 3-goal lead probably isn't insurmountable, but it becomes a pretty darn near impossible task at this stage in the game to go down 3 to this. So Starpoint's going to look to stick the dagger in right here.
Will Mainstone deep in the offensive zone, creating some pressure and a loose puck. It almost comes right out in front of the net. Justin Bull was there. Good play by a Canisius defender to make sure he got just enough of that pass to make sure it didn't get to Bull. We're getting a penalty called here, though. It looks like it's a holding call being signaled, and based on the reaction by the Canisius player, it's going against the Crusaders.
Oh, yeah, but that's exactly what you didn't need if you were Canisius, to go to the box right here. So Starpoint now gets a big opportunity here to put some distance between them and Canisius. Coach Clayton's going to take the big guys off. It looks like they're going to send them out there to finish off the power play here.
At the top line out there drawing the penalty for Starpoint. So we see a change here with 5 new players coming out to start this power play. 9:24 is what remains in regulation, and that's one of the top Canisius defensemen in the penalty box, Tommy Stouffer. They're going to have to kill off this 2-minute penalty if they want to stay in this game. Passes, cross-ice pass right onto the tape, and a quick one-time attempt by Joe Manguso that hits a Canisius player before it gets in on net. Starpoint, though, still keeping it set up here in the offensive zone. Allen's pass gets across eventually to Russell. Has a man on him, so he just feeds a backhander down low where he finds Merrifield. Sorry, that's Mariner in the near corner. He's got a man on him. Loose puck created, and it comes back out towards the point. Manguso throws a hit into his man to try to keep it inside the zone, but it's going to be some speed up ice into the offensive zone for Dagler for Canisius. Good defense, though, as Sean mentioned there. three players back there for Starpoint making sure of their defensive responsibilities. Minute 19 remaining on this power play as Gavin Russell almost creates a loose puck there along the Canisius blue line. He does have it in the far corner, swings it around behind the net, and now it's going to be Joe Manguso walking in from his point position to get that power play set up. Manguso's pass, and now he gets it back here along the left point. Minute exactly remaining on the power play as Joe Manguso gives it to Russell. Russell then walks towards the point before feeding it across to Allen. That pass doesn't connect, and that allows Canisius to clear it, but it's cleared right into the Canisius bench. So that opportunity to kill off a little bit more time on the penalty goes by the wayside. Now they have to deal with a defensive zone draw, and here comes the top power play unit for the Starpoint Spartans.
Yep, and this is the biggest 50 seconds of the game right here for Canisius. They have to get out of this. They have to kill this, and they have to get out of the zone, and they have to get back on the offensive as soon as this thing's done with.
Starpoint, though, wins that faceoff cleanly, and now they're trying to get that setup here organized. Bull with a little bit of trouble getting it settled down here along the near boards. That could create an opportunity for the clear. Canisius, though, can't get it out. Is Cardarella doing some good work there along the boards. He gets it along to Bull, who's now walking the goal line. Ends up behind the net before feeding it out in front. Quick shot there by Mainstone. Kind of a sneaky pass there from Bull. It didn't look like he was about to fire the pass, but then did feed it in front. Good opportunity there in tight. Canisius almost with a break chance there as Angelo Pepis got behind the defense. Defenseman, though, on his team unable to hit him with that pass in the neutral zone. Alec Kirk with some speed now into the offensive zone. He gets that pass out towards the slot. Will Mainstone just settles it down and skates it towards the near corner. Kirk now along the hash marks, gets it back to the point to Lubert. He makes a move around one man, takes the shot. Good play to get the block there. Mathian getting the leg on that one, but now he's slow to get back to his skates. And Canisius getting a fortunate clear there as they end up dumping it over the short glass there on the far side. Timely, though, as one of their top defensemen was struggling to get back to his skates.
Good to see him on his skates, though, at least.
Yeah, they're certainly going to need him for the next 7 minutes here of action here in this game. Canisius has killed off that penalty, a crucial penalty to kill late in this third period. Still trail by 2, though, with a little bit more than 7 minutes remaining.
Yeah, and they did a great job killing the penalty, but they're not out of the woods yet. They got to get out of their own end and into the Starpoint end.
Winning some faceoffs would be beneficial from the Canisius perspective.
Yeah,
Starpoint
not
is
sure why they got away from doing that.
Yeah, Starpoint has gotten back into the win almost every faceoff mode that they've been in for the last month or so.
You can't come back on a team if you can't win faceoffs. It's just not going to happen.
Just makes possession that much more difficult.
And
a one-goal lead maybe, but a two-goal lead's hard if you can't possess the puck.
When Starpoint gets possession, it's really hard to get the puck off them unless they shoot it and you get a whistle.
They create a loose puck here due to the Canisius Crusaders, and now they carry it up ice into the offensive zone. This is number 21, Eberhard. Feeds it around behind the net, but they can't get that pass back to the point. That's going to give Austin Bush a chance to carry it up ice. He's got Merrifield and Mariner with him, but he just takes the shot from just inside the blue line himself. Glove save made by the netminder Grisbeck. And Canisius and Starpoint both making some changes now as we have just under 6.5 remaining in regulation.
And again, the last 5 or 6 minutes of game time have been played in the Canisius end. I know there was a power play, but Canisius is just kind of stuck in the mud right now. They're having a real hard time getting out of their zone, and they need to be in the Starpoint zone for the majority of this period, but Starpoint's just clogging the neutral zone and sending it all the way back. And then that happens.
Get another puck deflected up into the roof, so we get the stoppage in play. 6:14 now remaining here in the third period. The faceoff's going to go right at the center ice dot as both teams keep the same 5 players out there on the ice for this faceoff. Scrambled draw, Canisius winning control. That's Mathian there. Good to see him back on the ice after blocking that shot. Canisius now dumping it into the offensive zone. Right in on goal. Garou looked like he wanted to play it, but he got the whistle before he could slide that along to his defender, so it's going to be a defensive zone face-off now for Starpoint. But they get their top line out there to try to help them with that possession game.
Yep, and that's the play right there, especially when you get last change. You get to pick your matchups, and Starpoint and Coach Clayton are going to put their big guns out there. I bet they get double shifted at least for the next little bit to try and kill this off.
Mainstone with another clean win on a face-off. That allows Lubert to try to maintain possession of it there in the corner. Puck comes out towards the slot, though. Almost a dangerous pass there as came right out towards a player in front of the net. Canisius unable to do anything with that, though, as now they have to set up just inside their own blue line again. Dagler dumping it in after the first break-in attempt didn't really work out. Dagler now finding it again. Now he has a little bit of space. Feeds it back to the point. Mathian's shot from just inside the blue line. Blocker save made by Garou. Puck behind the net now as Dominic Lubert drives his man into the backboards, but it's going to be Canisius finding possession again, and Healy gets it back to the point. Mathian, though, has two men right on him, and he's unable to get that shot through.
Oh, good D.
I don't think that was the defender that made that play. It was the referee.
Well, bad ref. Well, bad standing, but all good.
It ends up in a scoring chance for Canisius. It could have been a scoring chance for Starpoint in the other direction. If that pass gets past the referee, it's a 2-on-1 possibly for Starpoint into the offensive zone.
Yeah.
Canisius uses the break to their advantage and gets a good opportunity themselves. Giroux, though, making the stop, keeping this one a 5-3 game.
Yeah, and Justin Bull was smart not to say anything to the ref right there because he wanted to, because if he gets in on a breakaway, it's big trouble for the other team. So Canisius gets away with one there, but Canisius would be well suited not to lose sight of number 7 again.
Yeah, or not to spend too much time with the puck at the blue line when you have two different men driving down on you, especially when it's Mainstone and Bull trying to take it away.
If you're doing that, then you're just set up for failure. So
3-on-2 maybe setting up here for Starpoint as they move it up ice with Cyric. Moves it along quickly to Merrifield. Oh! Two chances there. They hit the post with the first shot. The second chance, save made by Grisbeck as just narrowly avoiding the 6th goal. There could be one here, though, as a scramble in front of the net.
Wow.
And getting knocked down on that play was Mariner as he tried to dig that loose puck out. And now we have the crowd of bodies just in front of the Canisius crease. And doesn't appear that anything too much is going to escalate after that little conversation after the whistle. Not sure there are going to be any penalties coming up from that either. Interested to see where the faceoff will be, though, because it looked like the Starpoint defenders came in below the hash marks.
It's going to be a neutral zone phase. No, it's not. Nope.
Staying deep in the offensive zone.
Without the orange stripes, Aaron, I'm a mess right now.
Well, I think it might be another one of those cases where it's a 3-ref or a 4-ref system. Maybe make sure that faceoff's in the neutral zone. Starpoint gets the benefit, though, of another offensive zone draw.
Yeah, yes, they do.
But Canisius wins this faceoff this time, but they can't maintain possession to start the breakout. And now Bull has a chance to do a spinning turnaround backhand. Good save there by Grisbeck. Can't imagine there was any real way to read where that shot was going.
If he's got to be the best hockey horse player ever. The stuff he can do without looking or being off balance. Like, he's nuts, which is what he's able to do just knowing where everything is.
Good play there by Alec Kirk to avoid one man and make sure that puck gets out into the neutral zone. Good defense on the other end as Tommy Stouffer made sure that there was no zone entry for Starpoint. Spartans, though, have control of it along their own blue line. Puck ends up off the stick of Alec Kirk and then into the offensive zone. No icing on this play as we have 4 minutes remaining in regulation. It's just some soft pressure here from Starpoint as Canisius looks to start their breakout. A couple of passes connected upon, and now Tommy Stouffer has some room to carry it up through the neutral zone. Looked like he took a bit of a hook there. No call made, though.
I don't know what else a hook is if that's not a hook.
The stick was kind of lodged there for a second or so.
It was hooked to him.
No real advantage gained, though, as Canisius maintained possession and got it into the offensive zone. Now a battle for a loose puck here in the near corner. Dominic Lubert driving his man towards the wall, and that allows Starpoint to gain possession and carry it up ice. Justin Bull just dumping it into the offensive zone, then going to the bench for a change. Mainstone quickly on it to make sure it gets deep again. Jacob Cyric coming off the bench to make sure that Starpoint gets the first touch on possession there in the offensive zone. Eventually, Jack Vento gets possession and moves it up ice. Shot coming in from just inside the blue line. Good hard snapshot there by Eberhard, and a really good save by Rich Giroux. And now a little bit of a conversation after that puck is tied up. And both teams making sure that they aren't going to be too much closer after this one's done.
Do you think Starpoint didn't appreciate that? I don't think they like that at all.
There have only been a couple of those types of situations around the net today, Sean, where there's been just a little bit of an extension of the play, but every time it's ended up resulting in a little bit more, just like we saw there.
Yeah, Russell explained a pretty loud pleasantry right there. I appreciate it.
Hopefully our microphones are only so powerful that they're just able to pick up bits and pieces of that.
Yes, hopefully.
It's not.
Or not.
It's an internet broadcast, and we didn't say it.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Always.
Oh, boy.
2:40 remaining here in regulation.
What have we done, Aaron?
Canisius looking to get quickly into the offensive zone.
Oh, here we go. Allen, actually, you know what? He's lucky that's Allen, who knows that to watch himself.
Yeah, Allen doesn't have a whole lot of
He's got
room to maneuver now.
He's got no grace with the refs.
Yeah, he's, as we mentioned earlier on in this broadcast, number 16, Braden Allen, had just recently served a 3-game suspension. So you know that he's not going to do anything over the top in a situation like that. So smart of him to keep his head.
He wanted it, too. You could see it on his face.
No,
but you know what? He's a team player. He knows that winning the game is more important than shoving a guy.
Yep. Sometimes it's more important to think of what your team's needs are as opposed to what your emotional needs are in the moment.
Why didn't anybody tell me this when I played? They probably did. I just didn't listen.
Clearly, this Starpoint team is better at listening to those lessons than we are. We have a timeout taken here.
Those banners to the right.
Guess it was Canisius that took the timeout. I didn't see it signaled one way or another. Starpoint took the timeout, as folks around us are telling us. Appreciate the assistance. Clearly, I wasn't paying attention to the referees there a moment ago.
There's linesmen.
Yes, the 2 linesmen. They can also call penalties.
I'm digging in on that. These lines are doing a great job, but I'm going to dig in on that forever. Whatever has happened that made officials not want to ref, and we all know what it is.
Yeah. I just wish it wasn't the case, because I feel like these games get even better if it's a full complement of referees.
Nothing but the players can decide it. Yeah. And again, I have to say these refs are doing a great job. They really are. They've had control. It's just two guys can't see everything on the ice.
Yeah. And it's just tough as a 2-person crew.
And
but
holy cow, is this pace fast today?
I couldn't agree with you more, Sean. They have done a really good job here in this game in terms of how they've called it. It has been very even throughout in terms of the calls.
The missed calls did not affect anything.
Empty net here for Canisius as they pull the goaltender to try to get the 2 goals that they need to get back to even in this one. 5-3 game, and it's a 6-on-5 now for Canisius. But Starpoint getting that puck cleared as Gavin Russell made sure it got out across the blue line.
There's a high stick.
Now a battle for a loose puck. Healy ends up taking it away for Canisius and getting it into the offensive zone. Mathian has a little bit of room to let a shot go. He catches the netminder leaning. It's now a 5-4 game as the Canisius blue liner Max Mathian lets a seeing eye shot go, finds the back of the net, and now we are back within 1. I think based on the way that the second period was, I don't think we should have expected just 1 goal being scored here in this third.
No, and I think Clayton was ready for this because look who's coming out immediately. It's the big line, and we had said in pregame, Canisius tries to drive the offense through the blue line, starting with Mathian, and he gets a huge goal for them. 2 minutes left, Aaron. We know that 8 goals can be scored in this amount of time.
Based on the way they scored goals in the second period, nothing would surprise me more, but certainly it sets up for an exciting last 2 minutes of action here. Starpoint protecting a 1-goal lead. Trying to get that puck cleared out of their zone. Aiden Case ends up hitting his own player in the back.
Only Justin Bull could get hit in the face with a puck, and it actually helping his team.
Starpoint then getting the clear on the far side. They seem to be comfortable with, when in doubt, just ice it at this point.
That's what I would.
That's exactly what was done there as Dominic Lubert sends it the length of the ice. Now we see whether or not the Canisius goaltender will remain in his crease after this face-off.
He's going to get to bench level, but he's going to wait until they get possession, it looks like.
He is just out at the top of the circles right now, so we'll see how this face-off goes to determine whether or not Grisbick will be heading back to the bench immediately.
Canisius is using their timeout now, so now that timeout by Starpoint actually, not going to say come back to bite him, but Canisius gets one in the back pocket now.
Yep. So Canisius uses their timeout now, and we'll see whether or not they just go ahead and decide to go 6-on-5 here to get things going. A minute 43 is what remains.
If I were them, just how they've been in the dot this period, but I'm also not the coach.
No, I based on where Grisbick is right now, I don't think he's going to be starting on the bench. I think he's going to go back to where he was, kind of stationed there at the top of the circle.
I think by down 1, I personally think it's early to pull the goalie down one. I think they should probably leave him in there for at least 30 seconds.
It was interesting strategy, though, that they pulled him down 2 with that much time left. I think it had to do specifically with the fact that the Starpoint second line was out there.
Yes, and let's see. Yep, the top line's going to be out there. Yeah, and Grisbick is going to go. He's not going in the net. I mean, because the thing is, if or when Canisius does get. Wait, no, here he comes. They're going to do it. Yep. They're going 6-on-5.
Yep, 6 skaters out there for Canisius, and the goaltender Grisbick heads to the bench. So add to the drama here for the last 1:43. See who wins this faceoff. It's Starpoint, and they get it cleared immediately. Lubert just sending it the length of the ice. Again, that's an icing they'll take.
Just shoot at it.
It kills off 5 seconds.
If you can win, you got to win the face-off, so if you're going to do that. And Starpoint has won them, but this is and Canisius, of course, they've got their wingers to the slot side. So as soon as that thing's won back, there's going to be a double screen in front of that net. So, but
face-off competition continues, and Will Mainstone continues to win it.
Oh, and they get the hockey out there. Home ice advantage.
Yeah, they get the soft bounce off the boards and into the neutral zone. Canisius going to have to regroup, and they do so with Mathian carrying it in across the blue line himself, and now he's got it deep in the offensive zone, but 2 men right on top of him. Ends up creating a loose puck. Mainstone fires for the empty net, and it just trickles wide. Looked like it might have had the angle there as Will Mainstone trying for the nail in the coffin there. Unable to get it, just missing the net by a foot or so. So the faceoff is again going to come back to that same dot at the far side of the ice. Now we see whether or not Luke Dagler is able to win a faceoff here against Will Mainstone in that far dot.
There it is.
This time he does, and now Canisius with the chance. Ooh. The shot comes through, changed directions right in front of the netminder. Grew just went wide.
Oh, smart. That was the right idea. But Canisius, they got over there in time. Bull was smart to reverse it, but Canisius keeps possession.
Canisius keeping it in there at the far point. Let's see if they can get spread out to get a shot away. That one comes in from distance. Dagler letting that one go, but it missed the net wide. Mathian comes in from his right point position to make sure that they keep possession of it. Bull, though, using the athleticism
you can do that.
there.
He can do it.
His full height and reach to step up and get that puck, pull it down out of midair, and throw it into the neutral zone.
That's what you need if you're Starpoint right there. Have it die right behind the net.
Yeah, Mainstone sending it into the offensive zone. Player gets knocked down, and Kirk's going to get the empty net goal to finish it off.
I am mad if I'm Canisius right now, Aaron.
Yeah, Canisius might have
I am mad if I'm Canisius right now. That was an obvious hook.
Definitely a possible call that could have been made there on Kirk. It's not made, though. He ends up with the loose puck, and he puts it into the back of the net. It's now 6-4 on the empty netter for Starpoint. And what a dramatic way for this one to continue to come towards a conclusion. As we were saying, Starpoint just selling out that little bit extra to make sure they get the puck out of the zone, and that was the key there to setting up that battle for a loose puck in the neutral zone. Justin Bull might not get an assist on that goal, but it was his play just inside his own blue line that set it up and made it happen.
Yeah, Justin Bull, and then a lot of great plays by Justin Bull, including the play right here with his hand on the blue line. Canisius still getting after it, though. Got to give him credit. Not an ounce of quit in this team. Oh, that's right. In high school, it doesn't matter if you're ahead of it. As soon as it crosses the line, it's icing. Yep. I was going to say because Russell beat that by a mile, but the rule is still icing at that level.
So 7.6 seconds now remaining as the icing call is made against Starpoint. And looks like we're going to have, at least probably have the final result pretty much nailed down here. Still an opportunity for Canisius to put one up there. It's tough to score twice in 7.5 seconds, though, especially when Cyric wins the draw cleanly there. Comes back to the point. Tyler Stouffer is going to have time for one last shot, and it's one last block there. Braden Allen getting the leg on that one, keeping it from getting in on his netminder, and that's how the game will come to a conclusion. A 6-4 win as Starpoint wins their last home game of the regular season. A dramatic 6-4 victory. A great game played between these two squads here today. Certainly was a game that we were looking forward to. It's set up to be a good matchup, and both teams really brought a lot of energy and activity and really brought us the type of game we were hoping for here in this one.
Absolutely. You got everything you could have possibly wanted in this game. You got goals, you got saves, some defensive plays, some hits, a little drama too with some after the whistle, some goals, even just a smidge of controversy. Not that it really mattered. It was just more if Canisius decided to be upset about that at the end, no one could possibly blame them for it.
No, it was a call that certainly could have been made. Maybe it was made if it's a first period play, ends up being kind of what the difference is there at the end of the game. Called. Maybe that might be true as well.
Because I'm not going to blame the refs. I'm not going to do it. There's two of them. There's only so much they can do. But again, we're not going to harp on it because it doesn't take away from what a great game this was. Canisius knew who their opponent was. They were not afraid of their opponent. They played him tough. Starpoint respected their opponent as well, did what they had to do, were challenged more than people might have thought they were going to be, but still, they're continuing to be the team on top, and they're proving it, and they are scorching hot going into the playoffs. And they got to beat one of their buddies, one of their former players.
Absolutely true. A 6-4 win in favor of the Starpoint Spartans, and they now run their unbeaten streak, winning streak rather, to 7 games as certainly Starpoint has rebounded from what seemed to be a little bit of a lull in the middle of the season. We did back-to-back broadcasts of Starpoint games as they lost to Niagara Wheatfield and Grand Island in back-to-back affairs. Those were a point in the season where you had to wonder whether or not the team was starting to question whether or not they could make the run that they made last year. Coaching staff wasn't thrilled by the way the team was playing, but something was found there, and they've certainly strung together quite a bit of games here, winning 7 in a row. And as we talked about in the pregame, it was a 48-4 margin in those first 6 victories. They just add to that margin even more. They've scored 54 times in their last 7 wins, part of this 7-game winning streak. Certainly very impressive play by the Starpoint Spartans as they appear to be rounding into form, getting ready for the small school sectionals coming up very shortly here, as just 1 game remaining on the regular season for Starpoint. That coming up on Friday against Amherst. Our broadcast here tonight has been proudly supported by the architects at Lauer Manguso & Associates. Architecture, engineering, and design services from Lauer Manguso have earned the firm a reputation for quality and excellence spanning more than 4 decades. Also, our broadcast supported by Envious Gameware, designers of high-end custom hockey uniforms, bags, and apparel. The thinking of look good, feel good, play good goes into every Envious jersey design. Find them online at enviousgameware.com to get your team a look to be envious of. Also by 412 Communications, the new gold standard in digital media solutions, offering consultation for web and graphic design, social media, writing and editing services, multimedia solutions, and more. See them online, 412communications.com, to learn how they can help your brand build bridges with the people you serve. We hope to have a concluding interview here to wrap up our broadcast here tonight, so we're going to step away here for just a brief moment. But we'll be back here in just a few seconds to put the finishing touches on our broadcast here from Hockey Outlet tonight. Our final score, it is Starpoint 6 and Canisius 4. Stay tuned as we continue to bring you live coverage of Section 6 high school hockey on the Nickel City Hockey Network. And back here at Hockey Outlet, putting the finishing touches on our broadcast, our final broadcast of the season, as we have been certainly delighted to bring you these 7 different Starpoint Spartan games here this year. And to wrap up our final broadcast of the regular season, our Sean McHugh is joined by the head coach of the Starpoint Spartans, Mr. Clayton Wilson. Sean, let's hear from the winning head coach.
Thanks, Aaron. Like you said, I'm down here with Starpoint Spartans head coach Clayton Wilson. Coach, great start to the season, coming in on a 7-game heater, pretty much scoring at will. There was a bit of a struggle with that earlier in the year. What clicked and what turned that around for you guys to get hot like this?
I'll answer that in a second. I first want to just thank all of you guys for the commitment to Fed Hockey, getting the exposure out for the kids, your time, your effort. Aaron coming to do my senior night. Appreciate it to you guys. Now to answer your question. Guys, it takes a little time in high school when you're dealing with travel kids and then you bring them to high school. Every coach has their own philosophy until they start buying in, playing for a team, playing for the jersey they're pulling on, playing for that locker room. Once they realize that, then I always knew I had the talent. They'll start playing for the team instead of themselves, and then they'll start scoring goals, and then you'll see what happens. So, yeah, we put some pucks in the net recently. I totally agree with your statement, but it don't mean anything unless you go deep into the playoffs.
Absolutely. And you have a top line, arguably one of the most dangerous in all of high school hockey, definitely in the state. However, you also have some young players coming in, so you have a playoff run with your seniors. But not to get ahead of yourself, what does the future look like with young players like Carterella and others down there that you got coming in for next year and beyond?
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting because that's one thing I believe in. This year I'm heavy on seniors, and it's very rare for me to do this. But I had the right seniors, and I wanted to keep them. But bringing the youth up and getting them used to the level of play, getting used to my type of practices, and getting used to what's expected, it's always good to feather them in. I have 3 JV kids that skate with us 2 days a week. Just getting used to the practices and getting ready. So, yes, the youth is strong. Our JV team, I like a lot of it. I like their character. I like their work ethic. So I'm excited for the kids that are coming up. But it's very hard to fill a Justin and Alec and a Will's shoes. It's just very difficult. And I don't know if anybody's in Western New York that can do that. So I've had a ride. Justin's a 4-year player, and Alec and Will have been on the team for 3 years. And I hope we have a lot more memories before the season's over.
And beautiful segue into that, Coach. What is the key beyond just keep doing what you're doing to finish this off, send those seniors off the right way, and make another run at a title?
You know, we're peaking at the right time. And in high school, if you can peak and be ready, that is the big thing. And if you can prepare it, because they're kids, you know, you got to prepare them. It's the mental side of the game at this point in the season. It's not physical anymore. So if you mentally have them focused, you know, we're going to be a tough team to beat. But if you take things for granted, you don't work hard, you just give up, or, oh, we're playing a weak team today, that's when you have a bad night and then bad things don't go your way. So as long as I can keep them focused, that's my job, and keep pushing them and have a high expectation, I think we can make a decent run here.
Coach Clayton Wilson, the Starpoint Spartans, heading one more regular season game, then heading in for another, hopefully, deep run in the postseason. Coach, thank you for your time today.
Thank you. Great job, guys.
And, Coach, thank you so much for everything this year. We can't thank you guys enough for how welcoming you guys have been, bringing us in, not just the coaching staff, but the parents and the entire Starpoint family. It's really something we can't say enough about appreciation to the fact that you have made it so enjoyable for us. So thank you so much. Coach Clayton Wilson, we appreciate him taking some time and chatting with us post-game today as his team is finding their stride right before the postseason and playing some great hockey. We've certainly been delighted to be along for a little bit of that ride through these 7 broadcasts that we've had a chance to do. That's about going to put the finishing touches on our final broadcast of the season, but certainly safe to say that we have had a lot of fun doing these games, and we feel like this is just the start of something special in terms of broadcasting high school hockey here in Western New York. The vision, at least, not to put too much of a commitment towards it for next season, we would like to take what we've done here with Starpoint High School and spread it across to the other Niagara County teams, being Niagara-Wheatfield, Newport, Lockport, Niagara Falls, North Tonawanda. Enjoy this type of coverage across all of the Niagara County teams to kind of add to the experience that is playing high school hockey. There's certainly a lot to be said for the experience these young men get to have coming out and playing for Starpoint, playing for their high schools across Western New York. And if we can add to that experience in any way, we are certainly happy to do so. That should just about do it for our final broadcast of the regular season. For color commentator Sean McHugh, camera operator Jeff Jazarowski, my name's Aaron Elper, and thank you so much for joining us tonight and with the rest of our broadcasts this season. And that should just about do it. Thank you so much for taking some time and joining us on the Nickel City Hockey Network. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, and be sure to have a good week.